Okay, so this is my informative speech, and my friends who are my audience were not available tonight. So tonight I have my mom and my dog Sophie. She's not a person, but she thinks she's a person. So I'll be doing my speech on training for a marathon. So like most people, you might be under the impression that running a whole marathon is only for people who are far superior to the rest of us. And you might think that it takes a really strictly regimented training plan and lots of rippling muscles, but the reality is there's a race for anybody who's willing to participate. From the fastest marathon runner alive, who runs a 4-minute and 39-second mile, to somebody like me, whose mile is a little over 8 minutes. So 2 years ago, I ran the Little Rock Marathon for the first time, and I only had to train for 6 months, which is a lot shorter than you would think. So while there are lots of marathons across the U.S., the Little Rock Marathon is known as the race for every pace, and its organizers pride themselves on offering a longer than average time limit for the race, in addition to offering accommodations for runners who are physically or mentally disabled. And that includes blind runners who can be led by aides, and wheelchair-bound athletes who are able to compete on hand bikes. And it also offers the U.S.'s largest finishers medal for a marathon. So this is my medal from the marathon that I finished. And this is a dinner plate that we have at my house. So they're the same size. So if you're looking for something that's going to give you something that gives you a lot of bragging rights later on, the Little Rock Marathon might be the race for you. Tonight, I would like to explain the process of choosing a race, assessing your own fitness level, and choosing a marathon training plan. So we'll start with the first step, which is choosing a race. And as I mentioned before, there are lots of marathons organized throughout the United States each year. In fact, the number is approximately 487,000. So first you'll need to choose the region of the country you would like to run in, whether you'd like to stay close to home or maybe you'd like to take a vacation and run while you're gone. And some people love the challenge of running up lots of rolling hills, and other people might jump at the chance to run a really flat marathon, and a good choice for that might be the Oklahoma City Marathon, which is marketed as flat and fast, and races like that might improve your personal best time or help you make the cut for a race where you need a specific qualifying time. Like the Boston Marathon, you can't just decide you're going to run it, you have to prove that you're fast enough. So after you decide where you want to run at, you need to check for upcoming races in that area, as well as critical dates for registration and price changes, and you should make sure to choose a race that's at least 6 months away so you have adequate time to prepare and train. And this step will also give you time to save up some money for the entry fee if that's necessary, if it's not exactly in your budget, because a lot of marathons are really expensive and can cost between $100 and $150. And a lot of times that price will also increase the closer you get to the actual race day. So if you want to run a race with a specific theme, like maybe a rock and roll marathon, they have those in Dallas and San Diego and New York, I think, you might need to include that in your expenses so you know how much it's going to cost for your travel costs. And if you wanted to do like a destination marathon, like the Walt Disney World Marathon, you run through all the parks in Walt Disney World, and children are allowed to run that one, so you might need to factor in some expenses. If your child is running, you can buy them a costume and they're allowed to run like that. So after you've chosen your race, the second step is to accurately assess your own fitness level. So while you might be in great shape and you might be able to lift a lot of weights, it's really important to assess your tolerance for cardio and your tolerance for running really long distances. So a novice runner would be somebody who usually runs for pleasure. They might not run that often, but they do enjoy running, and they may or may not even be accustomed to racing. And this would be somebody who usually runs less than 10 miles. An intermediate runner can be thought of as someone who runs regularly for exercise, and they might occasionally race at short distances like a 5K, which is 3.1 miles, or a 10K, which is 6.2 miles. And this person might be looking to improve their stamina or build up tolerance to run longer distances. And this would be somebody who usually runs between 10 and 30 miles per week. And then an advanced runner is someone who regularly runs over 30 miles per week. And they might be someone who trains consistently, but they're hoping to have a personal best or place in a really large race that has thousands of people. They might be looking to come in first, second, or third. So after assessing your fitness level, it will be easier for you to choose your training plan. And there are a lot of training plans to choose from, but my favorite is the Hal Higdon Intermediate 1 plan. And it prepares an intermediate runner to complete a full marathon in 18 weeks. So it consists of 4 average length runs during the week, which is usually about 3 miles per day, and 1 long run on the weekend, and that distance will increase throughout the program, and then 1 rest day before and after each long run. So usually you run about 3 or 4 miles per day, Monday through Thursday. You're off on Friday. You may run 15 miles on Saturday, and then you're off on Sunday to have a rest day before you start the next week over at 3 or 4 miles. And the Hal Higdon series has a plan for every fitness level, as well as some specifically geared toward improving your time or running multiple marathons really close together. Because usually you have a taper period after you run a full marathon where you decrease distance, and usually for the first couple of weeks afterward you don't run more than 2 or 3 miles per day. But some people plan to run a marathon every weekend for 2 months, and they need special consideration and they would need extra training. So there are other training plans that you could use, and these are offered from runnersworld.com, and they also have a magazine that you can subscribe to. Nike has a marathon training plan, coolrunning.com, and there are lots out there, but these are just the first few that I found. And these also cater to all fitness levels. And some races that are really noteworthy might even have their own training plans, like the Boston Marathon. So in conclusion, tonight I've outlined the basic steps to prepare to run a marathon. And while it might not have given you the motivation to jump up off the couch and lace up your shoes and run 26.2 miles, hopefully it gave you a place to start if you ever decide to do so. So now that you know all these things, you understand that you don't have to be the world's most amazing athlete to finish an amazing race. You just have to be willing to put one foot in front of the other. Thank you. Get you in the background of it.